keep going. Like, I swear, like, the darker it gets, the deeper hole you dig, like, there's always a way out.
How did you overcome that self-doubt? Like, how did you get to that point where we got the K-weights we got now?
You know, I come from a big family, so the West name is like kind of, a lot of people know somebody in the family. There was always me being in that shadow and trying to get out of being Warren West's daughter, Jared West's sister, and just trying to be, okay, can I be K West? I struggled with that for sure, trying to find my own name and get out of their spotlight. I really struggled with that athlete identity loss. Like, I really obviously learned that I have been defining myself as a basketball player for years now and didn't even realize until I was no longer a basketball player.
I want to start a nonprofit for athletes to figure out, like, what their identities are outside of their sport.
Life is really a roller coaster.
Yo, we keep going up and then we go down. Then we go up and we go down.
I swear, but the beautiful thing is every time you go down, you gotta go up.
Exactly.
Welcome to the Elevated Limits podcast show.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Elevated podcast. Today we have a special guest in the building. She has a personality that can light up the room. That's probably why they call her Sunshine. She played ball at Liberty, IMG, went to play Division I basketball at Coastal Carolina and Georgetown. She's currently with the Harlem Globetrotters. Please welcome Kay West in the building.
Hey.
Down me up. Listen, since she's kind of like a celebrity now, so she showed up like 20 minutes late. I ain't gonna say that, she on celebrity.
I'm just a girl.
No, but how you doing? How's life? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
My first podcast, so I'm excited to be here.
Official.
Yeah.
Speak into the mic so like we could hear your voice real quick. Are you naturally like an early bird, Kate? Because you've been working out with us, and I was like, yo, you're like, what times do you have available? I said 6, 7, 8:30. You said I'll be there at 6.
Yep.
So like. You don't like strike me as an early bird though. Are you like?
I'm definitely an early bird, like going to bed and waking up. Sometimes I'll wake up super early and I'll go back to bed and then I'll get out of bed eventually. But I'm in bed. I'm a grandma in bed 9, 10, 11 at the latest.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm past midnight, I don't know. Must have had a good night or something because I need my sleep and
I'm
I
with
appreciate
you though.
my sleep.
I'm with you on that. Like, cause I'm a 9:30 kind of guy.
Yeah.
Cause we got to get up at 5. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yep.
So like I said, you're currently on the Harlem Globetrotters, but there's a journey that got you to that point, right? And I kind of want you to take us back to your childhood and kind of tell me, what your childhood was like and kind of how that shaped you and who you are today.
For sure. So I am the youngest of 5.
5?
Yeah. 3 brothers, 1 sister. Me and my sister actually have the same birthday, but we're 8 years apart. So it's kind of,
Wow.
Yeah, she's like
Do
my
you guys
twin, but not my twin.
Celebrated together though or not?
Yeah, so, well, we try to, but with our schedules and everything, I'm usually not even in the state for the most part. So I haven't been able to, up until the past, 2 years, we were able to celebrate our birthday together, which is, really special because we don't get to do that. And our brothers were actually all in town this year as well. For the first time in, 4 years or something like that.
Fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up with, 5 siblings, your 2 parents in the household? Like, what was that? What did that look like? What did that household look like?
I was definitely like that annoying little sister that they didn't want around, but you couldn't get rid of me because I was so much younger than them. So, I wanted to learn everything fast. I wanted to be out there with the boys playing basketball, playing football. They might be out playing manhunt, and I got to be inside before dark. So sometimes it sucked having that little age gap, but for the most part, they were just they were the best for me, the best people.
Yeah, how do you feel like that shaped you and who you are today? Like your brothers and your 2 parents. Like, how do you feel like it's made you and who you are?
That's a good question. Every household isn't perfect, so I think that everything that you go through for sure definitely shapes you, and I think that at the end of the day, I learned that no matter what you go through, you're always going to get to wherever you're destined to go. So. Things, like I said, weren't perfect, weren't terrible, of course. I'm grateful for the life that I had, and I'm just grateful to have my siblings with me through it all. I'm grateful to have just a support system that I would say always helped me get through anything whenever.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So you're family-oriented.
Yeah.
Family-oriented, and they kind of stuck with you.
For sure.
No matter what.
For sure.
Do you think that maybe having brothers and having your dad in your life, it's kind of led you to play basketball? Because I know you played multiple sports, but what made you decide to play basketball but stick with that opposed to any other sport?
So if I'm being completely honest, I want to be a cheerleader. I wanted to be a Penn State cheerleader on the sideline, flipping.
Wait, that was the vision though? You want to be?
Vision.
Wow.
For sure. Gymnastics was actually my first sport. So I always had the tumbling, little flipping athletic ability in my system.
Wow.
Then I did cheering. Then I played softball, and then I picked up basketball. So basketball actually came pretty late, and it kind of got to the point where my dad was basically like, yeah.
What did that conversation look like, though? Like, you're like, oh, I want to be a Penn State cheerleader. You know, you talk to your dad, you talk to your parents about it. Like, what did that dynamic look like? What did that conversation look like?
It was just like a disagreement. Because they're like, cheerleading's not getting you a scholarship, which it can, by the way. It definitely can, especially with the abilities that I believed I had.
Talk heavy.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of girls can't tumble the way that I could. I was also a flyer, so I think that is important in the cheering world. So I think I could have got a scholarship, actually. Even if it was partial, whatever. Maybe I could have got a half an academic scholarship, but they weren't having it. Like, it was like, no, basketball is the full ride, basketball is the way, so.
You ended up sticking with that.
Yeah.
Was there any resistance there in the beginning? Like, you kind of were like, nah, I'm going to do it? Like, or did you?
Yeah, for sure. Then it was like, I'm not playing basketball then. Then I'm not doing anything. If I can't cheer, then I'm not playing. And there was actually a point where, so I was cheering on Liberty's varsity when I was in 5th and 6th grade. When my brothers were playing. Yeah. So, I would go to my brother's football practices, and I would just see the cheerleading girls, and I would go in the field and just tumble. And, one day, basically, they asked me to be their mascot. But I wasn't, in a costume mask. I had a little uniform. I had, it was real cute. We got a little custom-made, Liberty little uniform. So that was really fun. And then I cheered in middle school, cheered in high school, but then after your freshman year, you have to choose because you have to cheer all 3 sports if you want to cheer on varsity. So basically they initially said, no. And then when I was like, okay, we're not playing basketball either, they were like, oh, actually, you can cheer and play if you want. And I was like, I don't even want to cheer anymore. Then I was blocked in with basketball. So that's how basketball really started to be my main thing.
So, senior year of high school, I think you're averaging 13.3, something like that.
Right.
And then you go to IMG, average about the same.
Yep.
For the people who don't know about IMG, can you talk about what that is and what that experience was like for you?
For sure. So IMG Academy kind of came out the blue, I would say. So out of Liberty, I had one Division I offered to Fairleigh Dickinson, which is a D1 in Jersey, I believe.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And then I had some D2s, but I felt like, not that I deserved more, because I don't like to use that word, but I just felt like I worked for a better opportunity, is the best way to say it.
Yeah.
So my dad kind of somehow found IMG, reached out to the coach, and then, we got the ball going with that. So I ended up decommitting from, because I think I was initially verbally committed to Fairleigh Dickinson.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I ended up taking that off the table and kind of reopening my options, went to IMG Academy, and it was just a year of training like a professional athlete.
Right.
That's the best way to describe it.
So you get down to IMG, you're training like a professional athlete, but what is the training sessions like? What is the living situation like? What is the experience of playing with players of that caliber?
Right.
You know what I mean? Do you feel like that stretched you to become a better player and kind of prepared you for the next level?
Absolutely. I think it taught me so many life lessons on and off the court. So I didn't take any classes when I got there.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, kids at
crazy,
IMG
right?
could do that?
So
you could just play your sport?
No, because I was on a postgraduate program. So technically I already graduated high school.
Got it.
So I could have started my college courses early if I wanted to, but it was I just want to focus on basketball.
I'm with you there. I would have done the
I'll
same
get there
thing.
when I get there. So I got there, and it was just like a dream. It didn't feel real. It was like Zoe 101.
Yeah.
On basketball crack, on sports crack actually. It was super cool. My schedule would basically be, we would have a shoot around. This is preseason. So we'd have a shoot around 6 a.m., get some shots up. Then you go to, I believe we went right into practice after that. No, actually then we went to breakfast. Go to breakfast, come back real quick for practice from 7 to 8, 7 to 10, 8 to 10, sometime around there. And you go straight to weights from 10 to 12. Something like that.
So you have a set schedule every day.
For sure. Yep.
Did you feel were you nervous going in? Were you kind of questioning a little bit? Can I play with these girls? Could I play at this level a little bit?
Hell yeah. I think coming in, it was just the confidence aspect.
Yep.
I think that's something I've always struggled with. And now I feel like I'm in a aspect of my life where I'm thriving in it. So it's nice to
Absolutely
feel the growth and everything. But initially, I really just had a lot of self-doubt. I had a lot of, growing up in Liberty or in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania in the Valley, I'm come from a big family. So the West name is kind of, a lot of people know somebody in the family.
Yeah.
Not necessarily me, but it's usually my dad, it's usually my brother. So there was always me being in that shadow and trying to get out of being Warren West's daughter, Jared West's sister, and just trying to be, okay, can I be Kay West? Like, so I was trying to figure out how to make my own way. And I'm so appreciative of them being able to pave the way for me, but I struggled with that for sure, trying to find my own name and get out of their spotlight. So I think that IMG was the first opportunity for me to be able to do that. But just because you have the opportunity doesn't mean that you still believe in yourself necessarily.
Right.
And it's not that I wasn't ready for it. I just was like, I think it was a self-doubt initially.
How did you overcome that self-doubt? Like, how did you get to that point where we got the K-Waste we got now, like posting videos on Instagram, doing these crazy TikToks, but you could set, like, it's easy to tell that you have a lot of confidence. Like, how did you overcome that self-doubt in the beginning?
Honestly, I think my coach at IMG had just the greatest impact on me. She was just kind of the person that instilled everything in you that it made you know you had no choice but to believe in yourself.
Wow.
Like, she is like the walking epitome of just the greatest person on and off the court. Like, she just carries herself with grace, with so much love and energy that it's just like you have to match that. And it's like you have to figure out how to love yourself through her, because she's gonna do it for you. So it's like she taught me how to do it for myself.
Wow.
And I think also too, coming in my first workout, I realized that I wasn't so much behind these girls that I thought I was gonna be. Like, you know, no shade, like some I was already ahead of and some I was right there neck and neck with them. So it was like, I'm built for this and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I think it was just over time, it just started to build and build and build.
So fire. So what made you decide that, you know, Coastal Carolina was the right place for you? Like, what made you make that decision?
So at IMG, my two options came down to Coastal Carolina and FAMU. And I think the main deciding factor for me was just the fact that I lived this like luxurious lifestyle while I was at IMG.
Sheesh.
And it would have been hard to go to, I would have loved to go to an HBCU, but it would have been hard to go there with the resources that they had, knowing how the traveling would be, knowing that we might have had one athletic trainer for the entire, any single sports team. So it would have been, I think, just a difficult transition for me to go from here to here, where I think it just kind of aligned better for me to go to Coastal Carolina.
Okay. So you get there, though, and you're playing really well. You know, you're averaging like 5 points, and you're playing a lot. Like, you're playing a lot for a freshman. What was it like getting accustomed to now that new culture in Coastal Carolina?
Yeah. Honestly, I think I adapted pretty fast just because we had a really good leader at the time. Jasmine Adams, she was our lone senior at the time, and she had 8 freshmen coming in.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like, get with it or like get lost is kind of how her mentality was, honestly. And like, we were scared of her. I was scared of her, and she's now one of my best friends to this day, for sure. Fire. But it was just like coming in, you just kind of, she really showed you the ropes and gave you no choice but to follow her lead. And she did it with, you know, everybody has different leading or leader tactics, so it was a little different than I would have done it. But at the same time, it worked for us, and we were really successful that year. So I think that she played a really big part in that.
Did you have to overcome that self-doubt again, or did you have that kind of that momentum coming from IMG going into your freshman year? Like, yo, I was at IMG, one of the best high schools in the nation. Like, I'm like that. Like, what was that like for you?
So freshman year, I think I just came in really prepared, and I think I was more prepared, like humbly speaking, than my peers that I came in with, just because I had that IMG experience under my belt, where they taught you how to do it. They taught you how to be a professional athlete, not a Division I athlete. I feel like I was one step ahead. So when I came in as a Division I athlete, I already knew how to do those types of things. I didn't have to learn the things that maybe most freshmen might have to struggle with, because I already kind of knew how to do that. So I think that freshman year was definitely like my thriving time. Like, I came in on a high. I came in with all this confidence, and then I think it started to drop eventually, probably like around my junior year, but initially it started on a really high.
So you talk about the drop off, right? So like I was doing a lot of research because I want to make sure I'm doing my due diligence for you. You know what I mean? So you go from like 18 minutes to then your next year 11 minutes, and junior year you go up a little bit, but never more minutes than your freshman year. Talk about what that time, like what that period was like, and like what the next 2 years looked like after your freshman year.
Right. So coming in my sophomore year, it was cool. I actually became a captain.
Fire.
I had a decent season. It wasn't anything like my freshman year, but I still had a decent season. Nothing that didn't stand out, or nothing crazy really. Junior year, things were still okay. I was still a captain and things like that. And then senior year came. It was the year of COVID, actually.
Wow.
I think it was
Yeah, it might.
2020, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so we were all at home on lockdown or whatever, and I basically just, like, out of the blue, like, I get the call that's kind of just saying, like, in a nutshell, like, yeah, I don't think that, and not that.
This is your coach calling you.
Yes,
Okay.
and not that I put any type of, like, title or, like, saying that captain is the reason why, like, that I'm even speaking on this. It was more so just, so, like, she kind of called me and said that she didn't see me fitting to be one of her captains anymore. And like I said, it's cool, like, if we have a disagreement, but it just felt like it was confusing to me. Like, it was like, why? Like, I feel like I never really got a proper reason, honestly. Other than the fact that, like, she said she just feels like I couldn't fulfill her leadership roles. But, like, I point this out just because I feel like from then into my entire senior year, it was just weird. Like, the energy was just weird. It was like almost like I went from having a decent relationship with my coach and, like, a decent understanding of what my role was on the team to now just being lost and being, like, non-existent kind of thing, mistreated, disrespected, belittled. It was just like a switch, and I never. It was just weird to me.
That is very weird. What was, like, her expectation? Like, if you could, like, take me inside that conversation without getting too detailed, because I know you want to, still respect your former coach. But like, where was the disconnect? Like, what was she saying that you weren't doing that you felt like you were doing, or like, and also, what are your initial thoughts as she's speaking to you on the phone? Like, what are you even saying back to her? Like, okay, coach, I'm gonna just, like, what's that look like?
My response to her was really just like, okay, I respect it. Like, it's nothing else I can do from here. I'm gonna keep working, and I'm still gonna play my part. And respectfully, I don't think you need to be in a title or have the name captain to still be a leader. So
respect.
I always knew that and understood that, and I knew that I have the type of work ethic and just how I'm able to connect with my teammates. I knew that taking that name away from me wasn't going to change me, wasn't going to change who I am as a person or anything like that. But it changed me, what's the word? Like, bluntly speaking, I definitely hit, like, a little, like, depression. I really struggled with some mental health issues at that during that entire year. I went from being, like, in tip-top shape, being on top of my game, to, like, literally dropping, like, 20 pounds out of nowhere just because I was just going through a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I just haven't ever been in a position where I was being mistreated and, like, disrespected the way I was, and never understood why. Like, never got, like, this is why, maybe. Like, it was just like a woke up one day.
What do you mean by disrespectful, though? Like, how, like, is it okay that I'm asking these questions?
For sure.
Like, what do you mean by disrespectful? Like, what is she saying that's making you feel disrespected? Like, how?
I just felt like I just wasn't, like, a player anymore. Like, I wasn't a part of the team, essentially. Like, I was just there to, like, to just let the year go past. Like, not here to, she doesn't want me here to make a difference, doesn't want me here to help. Like, just go about your day and leave and come back and do it again tomorrow. Like, going through the motions type of thing. And there was actually, like, a day where she, like, singled me out and kind of, like, she was making me go through this drill, like, over and over and over again. And one thing about me, like, I might break, but you're not going to see me break. So it was like a very, what's the word? Like, key point, I think, in my life for me personally, because I realized what was going on and I didn't let it affect me. So it was like I did the drill 20,000 times over, however many times she did it. Then, like, we had, like, a water break and I was gassed. Like, I could not breathe. Like, I needed water. Like, our, like, what do you call them? Our managers kept coming up to me, like, offering me water. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Because I just didn't want her to see me stressing at all.
I get it.
And she, like, finally, like, I think she realized that, like, she wasn't getting to me. And, like, she literally said out loud in practice, like, does anything not bother you? Like, she was like, do you not care?
That's
and
weird,
I was like,
though. That's mad weird.
I was like, nah, I do, coach. Like, let's go. Like, I'm here. Like, my energy, like, I was basically smiling the entire time when I literally wanted to cry and punch somebody in the face.
Yeah.
But I just had a smile on my face the whole time. So practice is over. I go into the locker room. Like, then I had my moment. Like, I'm just throwing chairs. I'm losing it. Yeah. Like, I'm human. Like, things happen. So, like, I think that's why I also wanted to say that too. Like, as beautiful and as perfect people may seem on the outside, like, we go through a lot of things. We go through things we don't talk about. And at the end of the day, it's just a testament to where I'm at today. And it's helping me get to, and wherever I'm going to keep going, it's helping me.
So you get away from all that weird energy, right? And you end up transferring to Georgetown. How does that opportunity come about, and you know, how was that transition for you? Plus, you had 23 steals when you first got there. That's crazy. 23 steals is OD. But like, talk
Could've
about
got more.
That was OD. I don't know. 23 is crazy. But like, talk about like what that experience was like, and did you feel like you were in a better environment for yourself?
Absolutely. So initially, actually, when I was done at Coastal, my experience was so, what's the word? It was a lot for me, like I said. When I graduated and like got my diploma, my mom kind of asked me, you know, like, how do you feel? Like, expect me to say this, like, extravagant, like, and I literally just said, I'm just so glad I'm free. Like,
wow.
Because I really just felt like I was in a box. I felt like I was, like, in a mental prison for a year straight, and I couldn't get out. And, like, walking across that stage and knowing I got my diploma at the end of it, like, was just like, at least I did this. So when I graduated, I didn't want to play basketball anymore. I had a 5th year because of COVID. Every athlete was granted the 5th year. That's how I was able to go to Georgetown, but I didn't even want that opportunity. I didn't want to play. Didn't want to play overseas. Like, I was done. I didn't want to coach. I didn't want to look at a basketball. I didn't want to work out. Like, and if anybody that knows me, like, when I start to, like, not want to work out, like, something's wrong. Like, that's not me. So it's just, like, had a little bit of a downfall. Georgetown actually DM'd me on Instagram. I entered the portal, actually, just for, like, shits and giggles, just to see, like,
let's see what happens. Let's see what the vibes is like.
So I got some looks to the portal, and then I got a DM from a coach at Georgetown, and I literally saw it and was like, like, laughed and, like, locked my phone and put it down, because I was like, it's either somebody fake, because now, like, my confidence is back down.
Oh,
right. So it's like I literally went, like, I've been going like this for a couple years now. So, like, now I'm at the bottom, and I'm like, man, I'm not playing, like, whatever. So somehow she gets my number, ends up calling me. It's like a random number, and I answer, like, hello, like, not knowing who it was. And she's like, hey, like, this is, you know, the coach from Georgetown, whatever. And I'm like, oh, hi. Like, I'm like, I kind of wish I didn't answer the phone now, like, in my head, but I'm like, I'm here now, so I'm just gonna listen. Literally end up being on the phone for probably like 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
Like, it was like an hour with her, and then it was like another hour and a half with her and the head coach then. And they basically, you know, we just talked about some things. I told them a little bit about myself, a little bit about my journey, and then they invited me for a virtual Zoom, I believe at the time, for like that week, scheduled for that week or the next week, whatever. And on the phone, I told them, like, yes, sounds good, like, sign me up. Literally got off the phone and told my parents, like, I'm not doing it. Like, so it was like, yeah. Like, so this is just like where my head was at.
But what makes you were just trying to be nice on the phone, like, okay, yeah, like, I want to let them know, because they called me, we went on the phone for a while, but then you got off the phone and then, like, the depression hit again, like, no, you probably shouldn't go.
It was more, for real, and it was more so, like, for the sake of them, because I'm like, I'm not even my best self right now. Like, I appreciate that you guys want me, but I don't even know if I can help you guys. I can't even help myself. How can I help you guys? Like, that's kind of how I felt. So, you know, basically the day comes where it's the virtual Zoom is set, and, like, I'm not going. Like, I'm telling you, like, in my mind, I'm not going. And essentially my parents got me to go on the Zoom call, you know, just hear them out. Like, you don't have to say yes or no. Like, just hear them out, hear what they have to say. I'm like, okay. So kind of get on with a little attitude. Like, not to them. Like, my parents know me. They know I have an attitude. But, like, I'm still, you know, presentable and things. More of the story, like, halfway through that Zoom meeting, like, I was just crying, like, just bawling, because it was like, yeah, I'm supposed to do this. And it was the first time I had that feeling in, like, a year, probably. Like, I went through a whole season where going through the motions, feeling like I wasn't valued, feeling like I didn't have any worth on a team, to now through a single conversation, literally feeling the energy through a screen and knowing that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, was just, like, icing on the cake for me. So, like, that was, like, when I finally started to be able to go up again.
Wow. So you, through the camera, whatever, through the interview, you're basically like, oh, these people really want me. Yeah. They really want me to be there to make a change.
And it was like, they see me. Like, it was like, you don't want, like, you see me. Like, y'all can see and feel my pain through the screen, and, like, that's what drew me to them. And it was like, and y'all still want me. So it was like, okay, I could work with y'all because you could work with me.
So you go to Georgetown, obviously good experience, right? Like, school-wise, everything.
Yep.
But then you graduate again.
Yep.
What does life look like after you graduate Georgetown? Like, did you want to play in the WNBA? Did you want to play overseas? Did you want to coach? Like, what did you initially do right away? And what was the plan? Like, what did you want to do right out of college?
Nothing. And I had no plan. Like, I'm so serious.
Okay, what were you like?
I was lost.
But did you like you weren't thinking of what possibilities could be out there for you? Like, what were the initial like possibilities that you were thinking about out of college? If you had none, you had none.
No, it was just like the fact of like that athlete identity loss is so
Bro,
real. Like, it's so real.
Bro.
And I didn't know what it was until I was there.
Okay, so I'm glad you hit on that.
Yeah.
I want to start a nonprofit for athletes to figure out like what their identities are outside of their sport,
right? And
have them figure out what different avenues they could tap into that like kind of give them that fire just as much as their sport did, so that they don't feel that way in their mid-20s or late 20s and they're playing in these other leagues when they could be in a good job that they actually enjoy. Because I feel like our school system like kind of like plays us into thinking that school's whack and thinking that working's whack, but it's because we have lack of exposure to careers that are actually interesting.
Yeah.
Right? So my bad to get off rant,
okay.
but like,
no.
So you go through this identity crisis of like knowing who you are. Like, so what are you doing during that time period?
I'm honestly just trying to get through it day by day. Like, it was like life is really a roller coaster.
Yo, we keep going up and then we go down. Then we go up, then we go down.
I swear, but the beautiful thing is every time you go down, you gotta go up.
Exactly.
So, and that's what always seems to happen. So I just pray that keeps happening. But yeah, like I really struggle with that athlete identity loss. Like, I really obviously learned that I have been defining myself as a basketball player for years now and didn't even realize until I was no longer a basketball player. So people ask you, like, what do you do? And I'm like, what do I do? My answer is always, I'm a Division I basketball player. Now I'm not anymore. It's like, who am I? Like, what do I like other than basketball? So I think I just took a lot of time to myself. I just was still for a little bit, just sat in my feelings and tried to figure it out. It took a little bit longer than expected, and then eventually I decided that I wanted to train and go overseas, but I didn't take the steps to go overseas yet.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me that you were like, I'm going to start training. I'm going to start training to play ball again.
Yeah, and I didn't. And in the meantime that I didn't, I got a call from basically my head coach and kind of saying like, hey, we have a job for you. We got a job
from
open.
Georgetown,
yes,
right?
If you want to, you're interested. And like, I don't even think I listened to yes, like, cause like I need something. Maybe I'll find my purpose here. Like, I'll just try. And I ended up being the assistant director of basketball operations for Georgetown women's basketball.
And what was that experience like? Did you see yourself like, oh, maybe one day I could do this, or was it like, nope, cross this one off the list,
exit out immediately? Like, it was like, I'm so grateful for it, and it was so nice to be able to learn the ropes and how things work behind the scenes. But I grew so much respect for my coaching staff, because it's like, we know they work hard, but like, we don't really know as athletes what they're doing.
What?
Like, we don't know that when we have off days, they're in the office, they're on the road recruiting. When when we're laying our heads down going to bed, they're probably up watching, clipping film.
Yep.
Like, they don't see their families, they're in the office all day. So it's just like, it was a very like eye-opening and humbling experience for me. And I just really, like I said, I gained a new insight of how crucial they are to making our teamwork and making things, flow in a sense. And I actually got thrown into the fire my first week on the job. Our director of basketball operations had COVID. So literally my first week, like, I'm thrown into, like, I'm her. Now I have to take over her roles. And she, God bless her soul, she set me up to Delaney. She set me up to, like, she had everything written out. I knew exactly what to do. Like, if I didn't have her, like, I would have panicked. Like, and she really had a blueprint for me that was like, okay, when you pick up their food after practice, when we get to the airport, you call this person. Like, when you're in the air before you land, call this person. Like, she had everything set up for me.
Wow.
So I had to step into her shoes, like I said, really fast, but it made me appreciate her even more, made me appreciate just that job even more. But it also made me learn, like, I don't want to do this because it's so much. Yeah. Like, it is a lot falls onto their shoulders. And I know that I only got a little piece of what she does on the regular. Wow.
That's good, though. Like, it's good to learn what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you could kind of just say, all right, I tried that already. Like, I could keep it pushing.
Yeah.
So do you end up just quitting then after that 1 year? Or, like, what does that look like?
So my coach, unfortunately, ended up getting fired that year.
Oh.
So when that happens, the whole staff just kind of goes. So we all got fired, essentially. But it was okay, just because I learned that in that year sitting on the sideline that I wasn't done playing basketball. And that's when I realized, like, I do want to keep playing. Like,
wait, so you were getting that feeling when you were on the sideline, like, yo, I'm trying to play. Like, you don't even know what you're doing for real. Let me get up.
Just mad. Like, oh my gosh. But it was so cool to be on the other side and just remember, like, that I was them.
Yeah.
But it really like relit the fire, I think, for me to like realize I still want to play and I still can play. So like, so after that I kind of sat still again for a little bit, but I had an idea of what I wanted to do this time. I knew I wanted to train to go overseas, but I still took like some time to myself, still took some me time and things like that. And then started training to go overseas. And in the meantime,
wait, my bad, not to
okay.
cut you off. So are you talking to your dad like, yo, dad, I'm trying to play overseas? Your dad's gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna work out some connections
like we're
or
calling
something?
agents and things like that.
Oh,
like
wow.
we're really like trying to like start getting that bus moving and things like that.
Oh wow. And okay, so you tell your dad, I want to start playing overseas, and you start training and stuff like that, and then kind of tell like the story of how things start to unfold. You know what I mean? Like, how does the Harlem Globetrotter come out of nowhere? Like, how does that opportunity come, and how does that all unfold?
So basically, my dad is a security guard at Trexler Middle School in Allentown.
Okay.
And he was at work.
I know his life is interesting. Let me tell you.
Gosh.
Ooh, you ever been in there? Bro.
How boy have I. I love them kids. Or shout out to Trexler.
Nah, shout out to them.
Kids.
I love those kids too. It's funny though.
Funny.
No, go ahead, my bad. Let me stop cutting you off.
It's okay. So yeah, my dad was at work. Kind of, he's always talking to somebody.
Right.
He's always talking to. He'll talk to a tree. He's talking to somebody about me, bragging about me, telling them my accomplishments, how I'm currently training to play overseas at the time, and kind of like a story of a recruiter for the Harlem Globetrotters, which is in the same room as him at the same time. That's why I would say it was literally nothing but God, because I don't even know how this could happen in little Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And kind of just cut my dad off and was just like, like, I don't mean to be rude or nosy, but I think I have a better opportunity for your daughter. And ends up telling him who he is or whatever. He ends up giving me a call, telling me, that he works for the Harlem Globetrotters. He sees potential in me, asked me to send over maybe some film or something, and then gave me like somebody in charge's number to call them like that next day. So ended up calling them and had a great conversation with them. And, more of the story, they invited me out to a tryout in Atlanta, probably a month or so after that conversation. So I had like a month to prepare in that aspect. Went out to Atlanta, had the tryout. They called me like the next day, maybe 2 days later. And yeah, here I am, Harlem Globetrotter.
How was the tryout though? Did you know like, yo, I made it? Like, I know I made it. Like, I balled out so bad. Or were you like, I didn't do good?
No. So I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I could not make a shot. I could not make a basket. And it was, oh my gosh, it was messing with me. Because, like, that's one thing I can do. If I can't do that, I could shoot that ball. So it was like, why can I not shoot today? Like,
were you nervous as hell though? Like, were you like?
I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I remember like stretching on the sideline, like shaking, like, and I was just like, because it's different. Like,
it's way different.
You don't know what to expect. It's like coming into Division I basketball. I always know what to expect. I know how this summer workout's gonna be. I know how preseason is gonna be. I don't know how anything is gonna be at this tryout. And I haven't been at. I don't even know the last time I was at a tryout either. So it's like the pressure was definitely like weighing on me for sure. And then it was like a normal basketball tryout though, like normal drills, playing pickup, things like that. And there's like an interview process at the end of it as well. But coming out of there, like I didn't, but I did. Like I felt like I picked it up eventually. Like once we got to the pickup aspect, I felt like I really like showed that like I'm a hooper. Cause like one thing about me, like I'm always gonna have like hair done, edges done, like nails done. So it's like I feel like that can get like mislooked or like misinterpreted, but it's like, no, I'm a hooper at the end of the day. So I had a chance to be able to show that, like, oh, she's not just this girly girl, like she can hoop, like she'll play with the guys and like can hold her own. So
that might have gave you the advantage too, though, because you could kind of put on, because you have to put on this personality too, like to like kind of put on a performance, but then you could also ball up. So that might have been like your edge at the same time. You know what I mean?
For sure.
What was
I did hit a backflip at the end too.
Stop
that
playing.
That might have helped me out too.
Stop playing. So what was that experience like though? Like now you're on the team, you're with the people. Like what? Like is it everything you thought it would be? Like what is the experience like? Are you having fun? Are you enjoying yourself? Like what was this whole year like for you being a Harlem Globetrotter?
I can't say it's everything that I thought it would be because I didn't know what it was gonna be. Still, even coming into it, like coming into training camp, I think we had like a 10-day training camp. Still didn't know what to expect. Things were definitely different at training camp than what I'm used to, but it was cool. Like it was just nice to be in the room with so many talented individuals, so many good, genuine-hearted people. And I think that's the main thing that caught my eye was just I was surrounded by so many good people. Like, it was an organization of good, like, my teammates, all the guys that I met, they were just, it was like, I remember the first day I came in, and I was so scared. I was so, like, shy, and I was just like, I don't know, it's just weird you don't know, you're trying to fit in, like, you don't know.
You don't know these people.
Yeah, and, like, some of them are, a lot of them are some, like, big names. So it's like, you don't know if they're going to give you that Hollywood energy. Like, should I talk to you? Should I not talk to you? Like, and then literally by the end of training camp, like, I was cool with everybody.
Wow.
And, like, there wasn't a single person that gave you that don't talk to me energy. So, like, that's the one thing that I really appreciate about the organization itself. And then, so after that, tour kind of started up. So I spent 4 months in Europe.
How was that? How was Europe?
Crazy.
What was your favorite country that you visited?
So my top 3.
And why, though? You got to give why.
Okay, so Italy is, I don't have an order, but Italy is definitely up there, just because the people were so nice and the food was amazing. Like, when I say amazing, like, it was, just so fresh, so organic.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I hear.
You just, like, I ate a whole pie of pizza and I didn't feel like I ate a single slice. Like, it was, like, so light, so, no, not greasy or anything. You could tell it was really made with love. Like, Mom made that with love, whoever made it.
Grandma was in there.
Exactly.
Out.
So, definitely there. And honestly, just the shows and everything were crazy, like packed out bottom to top every single show. So like that was amazing in itself to be able to experience. And then Spain was just...
I heard Spain is crazy. Everybody that goes out there says the same thing.
The vibes are vibing out there. Like it was just... I can't even explain it. You just have to go see for yourself. Like it was just like, it's like a party in the street, but like just energy. Like everybody is just like, you feel like everybody's out there like this. Like it's just so... it's just vibey. That's the best way to say it. Just vibey for sure. And then we went to Egypt, and that's just in my top 3 because it's Egypt. I
Egypt
rode
is
a
OD.
freaking camel. Like
yeah. When I saw the picture, I was like, nah, Kay really, she really traveling for real. Wow, that's fire. So, going into year 2, what's the mindset? Like, what are you gonna take from year 1 into year 2, and kind of what's the approach now? Does it change, or is it the same? Like, I'm just gonna kind of go with the flow, visit these countries, or is it more so I got to move more tack and kind of take, how would I say it, kind of take advantage of the opportunities you're getting now?
For sure. So I think the first year was just trying to figure out how to get through, how to make it through, how to still, and I still am, still trying to learn how to be a Globetrotter, still trying to learn how to stand out, trying to learn how to take care of my body, trying to learn how and when to sleep. So it was like the little things I had to learn last year. And then this year, I think it's just about still continuing to learn those things, still learning for sure how to be a Globetrotter, still trying to learn from the best every day, but also trying to learn how to build like my personal platform through it, and also just try to, get better 1% every day. That's what I try to always tell myself, whether it's learning a different trick today, learning another trick the next day, and just trying to perfect my craft as I go along. But yeah, I think that it's important for me to try to build my platform because like out there I am sunshine, but I want to be like, I want to do a little collab, like I want to still be sunshine when I'm off the court. And I think that sunshine is such a big piece of me because it again helped me go back up on that confidence level.
Yeah.
So like where I was down, it helped me go back up, and like now it's like, okay, I'm up here as sunshine, but I want to stay up here as Kaylin West. So I think that trying to do that and just build a personal brand for myself as well.
Do you guys get like sponsorship opportunities too, depending on like your platform and like do they let you guys do that type of stuff?
Yeah, definitely. It's different for everybody. I think I'm not exactly sure how it works, to be honest, but they don't restrict you from like everything. Of course, as every organization, I'm sure there's some guidelines and things like that. I don't know too much myself because I was just trying to focus. Like I said, I'm trying to get through it.
He's like, how many hours do I gotta sleep? Like, how do I, know what I mean?
So I think that this year I'll be able to learn a little bit more about that and how that could work and how it could benefit me.
Do you ever like sit back and like reflect and say like, damn, I'm on the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I do. I'm traveling countries. Like, do you ever sit and just literally think about all that stuff? And
yeah, I don't think I do it enough, honestly. I don't think I give myself enough credit sometimes. I think I'm just always trying to think of my next move and forget to just focus on being where my feet are at, being in the moment, and just appreciate all that I've done to get to where I'm at instead of trying to race to get to wherever my next step is. So I think that, wait, what was your question again? I don't even know if I answered your question.
No, you did. Like, do you ever sit and just reflect on like where you're at right now and your experiences?
Yeah, for sure. I think I did actually take a lot of time to do that this summer. just because it was a lot. So I think I had to decompress and had to think of all the things that I learned and, you know, went through when I was in Europe and things like that. Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you did.
Yeah.
You did. I want to ask you one more question, and then we'll cap it off on this. So for people who feel lost, who don't know what they want to do, who've probably been in a similar situation that you've been in, what would you say to them?
Man, keep going. Like, I swear, like, the darker it gets, the deeper hole you dig, like, there's always a way out. And I think that the best way for me that I always get myself out of it is just always trying to do something for myself, like, that will help me as an individual before I'm trying to pour into somebody else's cup or before I'm trying to even worry about what door's going to open. Like, just do something small for myself that day and just trust that if you're still trying to build your own, like, be your best self every day, like, God's naturally going to pull through for you and make something happen for you. But it's not going to happen. A door's not just going to open if you're, you know, just sitting on your ass all day not doing anything. Or if you're just sitting here worrying about the next guy, or worrying about what this person's doing, or worrying about where you're going to be in 10 days. Like, just take it one day at a time and always stay true to yourself. Like, that's the one thing, like, and trust your voice. Like, if you feel like something's wrong, you feel like something is
that
just...
intuition, that gut feeling,
yeah,
all that
like,
type of
just
stuff.
speak up. It's okay to speak up. I think for a lot of times, like, I've been a shell to myself, or I've bottled a lot of things in, and I'm really working on, like, just speaking up like I said, when I feel something's wrong, if there's something I want to say, it's okay. And if it's wrong, it's okay. Like, just, you got to say whatever you felt. Never let anybody dim your light. Don't ever let anybody define you as a person. Don't ever let anybody... don't let anyone put you in a hole except for yourself. Not saying put yourself in a hole, but at the end of the day, the only person that should have put yourself in that hole is you. Like, don't let any external factors determine whatever your next move is going to be, or define you, or how you look at yourself in the mirror. I would just say, like, self-worth, self-love, like, as corny and cliche as that sounds, like, it's so real. Like, it's so real. And just always work hard. Like, so I think hard work will always take you anywhere.
That's a fact. They say luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? You were preparing, an opportunity presented itself. Now people call that luck, but you've been ready. So love that answer, by the way. Kay West, everybody. I appreciate you for coming on.
Man. Thank you for having me.
Guys, continue to subscribe. We'll be back more fire next week. Kay West, everyone. Stay blessed.